Good afternoon. It's once again Friday. You know, the one interesting thing about the summer is that when you get out in the sun, I love it. Your skin sometimes changes colors and you get a little blacker. Ain't that great? Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole. I think what gods there may be for my unconquerable soul. Well, it's again Friday, 5:30 in the afternoon, and this is your host for the next 25 minutes of the most interactive television in the city of Chicago, or any place else, as a matter of fact. This is Hotline 21, and this is U.S. Representative Danny Davis, listening and talking with you, the people. This is Education Week in Chicago, without a doubt. No doubt about it. As a matter of fact, we've been preparing for our 37th annual back-to-school picnic and parade, and we just simply say very simply that education is the key. And we want all of our young people especially to know that education unlocks the door to opportunity for them. A lot of folks have said a lot of different things about education. Abraham Lincoln supposedly said that education makes a man easy to lead, but difficult to drive, easy to govern, but impossible to enslave. Of course, Malcolm X said that education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare today. But you know, I understand that Harriet Tubman said something that I really like. She says some people don't like education. They say it makes fools out of people. And then she said, but I know more people who don't have any. And I guess her notion was that if you gotta be a fool, at least try and be an educated fool. So education is what we are talking about. Our picnic and parade is going to be tomorrow in beautiful Columbus Park. That's an all-day activity. Inglewood is having its back-to-school picnic and parade. Alderman Jason Irwin in the 28th Ward is having his back-to-school picnic and parade. Hundreds of block clubs all over the community are having last outdoor event for the children before they go to school. And we are delighted to have in the studio with us this afternoon Mr. John Culbreath, Vice President of Institutional Advancement and Athletics at Central State University in Ohio, and they're going to be participating in the Chicago Classic, squared off against Clark University from Atlanta on Saturday, September the 10th. And so this is getting our kids ready to go back to school. They'll be in school by then, and we want to make sure that everybody goes out and be a part of the Classic. I think before I ask our guests to weigh in, I got one caller, and let me see. Caller, are you there?
Hey, Dr. Davis, U.S. Representative 7th District.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were going to be talking about disability this week, but your guest is a pretty honorable person. I just want to make a quick comment. When we started out by last week in terms of drug treatment, like, I'm a person with a disability. I can't get no assistance on a lot of different types of help. But, you know, if I was a drug addict, I get a whole bunch of help. Matter of fact, they'll come pick me up. And then when you look at it, you were talking about that place, Haymarket.
Yeah.
I tell you, like I said, it'd be a lot of those folks talking about they need treatment. They be on the outside smoking. And it's always seemed to be when their money ran out, when the government check money run out, then they need treatment. But when it comes check time, oh, guess what? They feel better all that. All right, they can leave out. But every time when the money run out, they have a relapse. Those are facts, whatever. And then if you look at it in terms of the attendance over there at Haymarket, that's the way it is. Haymarket seems to be a lot of time ran more like a motel because people over there, they check in and they check out. They feel better every time when check come in.
All right. Well, okay, we're going to try to make sure that we have fewer people who succumb to the tragedy of becoming addicted. As a matter of fact, we had a great conference on Thursday out in Proviso at the Proviso Math and Science Academy, which is the #1 high school in suburban Cook County. They got that designation, and I want to thank the superintendent who was there with us, Dr. Joseph Rodriguez. So we've just been doing all kind of education things, and we're going to talk about disabilities a great deal. We'll do it next week, but let me just introduce Mr. Culbreath and let him tell us a little bit about Central State, a historically black college and university. I went to one. I went to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And of course, when I went, it was not a university. It was Arkansas A&M College, which really meant agricultural, mechanical, and normal college, which is what many of the early black schools that were established in the country. They taught people how to be teachers, they taught them how to do mechanical things, and they taught them about agriculture. But Central State University, tell us all about it.
Yes, sir. Hey, well, it's great to be here with you. I appreciate it and the time, and it's always nice returning to Chicago. This is I like to call it a second home for me, even though I grew up in Philadelphia. Chicago has become extremely important to Central State University, and it's interesting you're talking about agriculture. We just got a designation as an 1890 land-grant institution several years ago. So as proud as we are of our STEM program, our science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, we're actually calling it STEMA now, and we're adding agriculture on there. Central State University has about 650 acres, so it's really appropriate for us.
Guess what? We're going to be giving away corn, roastinators, peaches. We actually have a vegetable piece tomorrow at our picnic and parade, and we're going to be giving away fresh vegetables to people as they come by one of the stands. We've got churches that have already established gardens. And of course, coming from an agricultural state like I did, the land of opportunity, Arkansas, Bill Penn and I used to jokingly say to each other that the first opportunity we got, we left. But agriculture is very important in our society. Many people don't recognize it. Many people don't know it. So I congratulate Central State on that designation.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. You know, coming back to Chicago for us, and you mentioned us playing in the Chicago Football Classic, we first played here in 2008 and had the honor of being on your show back then. And since then, we've played in the Classic 3 times.
Hey!
And it's been really wonderful for us because we noticed a spike in our enrollment after that 2008 game, and we average about 250 students that come from CPS that come to Central State. We've spent in the millions of dollars in scholarships for CPS students. So wonderful relationship. We got a very strong alumni base here, and Chicago is a home for Central State University, so us returning to the Classic is absolutely wonderful. Again, you mentioned on September the 10th, we're playing Clark Atlanta University, which happens to be one of our rivals in our conference, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, which we joined several years ago.
Well, you know, we just know a lot of folks. My former chief of staff, Attorney Richard Boykin, attended Central State.
Absolutely.
And, of course, former President Art Thomas used to come by our office all the time as he worked on education issues and as we worked with things called the Call Me Mr. program, the state of the African American male. and of course a woman named Suzanne Stanley
Suzanne
that
Stanley,
I know.
right.
Also Central State, and my good friend who I think Ben Kendricks went to Central State. Ben passed away, ran social service agencies in Chicago. So I agree, Central State is well known to Chicagoans and those who've had the opportunity to. I was just with the minister, Randall Harris. Randall,
wonderful.
Saturday night, let me tell you, Randall had a great banquet. His church,
nice.
Faith Tabernacle Church had just a wonderful event.
Okay.
We were eating chicken and and stuff like that, and
Having a good time.
but it was also he and his wife renewed their marital vows of 25 years.
Wonderful.
It was just
That's nice.
and he's a Central State guy.
Yeah.
Yes, Reverend Randall Harris. He's also chairman of the board of directors at the Mile Square Health Center.
Oh wow, wonderful. I didn't know that.
So it's the flagship, top of the line stuff.
More Centralians doing some wonderful things.
Yeah, turning out great people.
Yeah, Richard Boykin contributes every year to our scholarship fund, and is just, we've got, like you just mentioned, wonderful alum in this area. We can't do what we do at our institution without our alum and the support of many communities, including Chicago. We're in the business of educating our young people.
What does it take to get into Central State?
A student can go online and actually go to centralstate.edu and you can apply. There are various scholarship opportunities, whether you're in athletics, whether you're in band, in choir, and actually our band director, Ramon Key, is actually from Chicago, or if it's science, the STEMmer program, we've got scholarship offerings in there. But the first thing you need to do is be able to reach out and to reach out to centralstate.edu, and on there you can find everything you need about the university and as well as admissions and how to get into school. We've been in school now for starting in our second week, so we're looking forward to it.
All right, let me just let our callers know that they can certainly join in with us. We're talking education. We're talking Chicago Classic. We're talking Central State. We're talking SAIL. You can give us a call at 312-738-1060. Let me ask, how did you become a college administrator?
Oh, wow. You have to ask me that story.
What's your track on that?
It's interesting. I'm a graduate of Central State.
And
I had aspirations.
Back home, huh?
I did. I had aspirations of being in television. And things just start segueing. Actually, I took an athletic route. My father was a 1956 Olympian in track and field.
Tell us about it.
Well, Josh Culbreath, we're all from the Philadelphia area, and my father was a bronze medalist, 1956 Olympics, Melbourne, Australia. A year later, broke the world's record. So this is his 60th anniversary of being in the Olympics.
Goodness, all right.
And he and I came to Central State to build their track and field program under Art Thomas.
All right. Well, let me see what our caller want to say. Caller, you got us.
I want to ask this question to your guest, Dr. Davis. Education is important, but when you look at and compare to minorities to their white counterpart in terms of the investment they make in their education, whites, they seem to get a better return on the education. When you look at blacks, they're not getting the same type of return on their education as the whites do. And we look at particularly, like, we know about women not making the same amount of money as a man. And don't be a black woman, you're making less money than a white woman. How do you encourage minority students to go get education when the fact is that they're not getting the same return on the education? Like,
well, let me ask our guest how he responds to that.
Well, you know what's interesting is what I found in talking. I'm going to take you back to a conversation I had with my grandmother. And she didn't even have a high school education, and so she grew up in South Carolina. She emphasized the education process, and she said, make sure you get your high school diploma, and then make sure you go on to college or learn a trade, because the more education you have, knowledge is power. And she pushed us and pushed us. Today, I push our kids to not just get your high school diploma, your college diploma, but get a master's diploma, get your PhD. So the better we can prepare ourselves and our children in this world, education is a wonderful route to take in order to do that. We've got to push through everything we can at all times, different barriers and obstacles.
And let me tell you, my daddy used to tell us
but they're
that
not
the
getting
more
on the education like whites do.
Yeah, but he used to tell us the more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. Trying to compare blacks with whites, given the fact that blacks never whites didn't come to this country in chains, did not come to this country as slaves in the holds of ships, packed together like sardines in a can, not knowing where they were going, whether or not they would get there, what would happen to them if they did. No, we have not reached the same level of parity, but we sure ain't where we were when we got here.
Amen.
I understand.
And we continue to struggle and struggle and struggle. Let me tell you, there was not a single black person in the town that I grew up in that had a college degree when I was a kid growing up. Not one. My first cousin graduated from high school by himself. He was the only graduate in his class. His sister and I graduated after that 6 years later. There were only 8 of us. So we ain't got where we need to be, but we sure ain't where we were. And we are advancing, and we ain't Cadillac, but we ain't no Volkswagen either. So we are coming, and keep on coming, and keep believing. You got to have faith. The Bible says if you would have the faith of a mustard seed and say to yonder mountain, be moved, the mountain will get out of the way, and if it does not, then you get you some dynamite, some nitroglycerin, some TNT, and blow that sucker up. Or you get a chisel and just chop away and chisel away, little bit at a time.
Right.
Dr. King was so right when he said he may not get to the promised land, but we're going to get to the promised land. Caller, are you there? Yes, caller, are you there? Well, what happened to that caller? But you can give us a call back. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, yes, is Danny Davis?
Yes.
Yes. I'd like to know, what does the white man have that the black man needs?
What does the white man have? Let me tell you.
That the black man needs.
Race and racism has been with us since the beginning of our being. We keep whittling away at it. There's black and white in a whole lot of people. There are white people in my family. May not look like it, but they are. The last pure white fellow that we found in my family, his name was Zacharias Glass. And he is a part of my heritage. So we're going to have the black-white piece as long as we continue to be. So we just keep trying to become equal and treat it with fairness and experience justice. I think we got another caller. Caller, go right ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes. I just wanted to reminisce a little bit. Back in '73, I was accepted to come to Wilberforce, Ohio, right across the street from Central State. They had a tornado that year. However, I ended up going to Knoxville College. But the thing is, I was recruited by Cyrus Purnell. He went out and recruited all his African Americans among the underprivileged circumstances. I was from Cabrini Green, and I had a mentor, Dr. Charles Holmes. He was an optometrist. He was from my high school, Waller High School, and he, just did a lot for folks who had no, I guess,
predisposition of wanting to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
I just barely got out of high school, which would have been fine with me, get a factory job with my dad, and go on, But it was an experience, a lifetime experience that was, greatly appreciated. And I encourage everybody to, if they can, get an opportunity to go to college, especially a historical black college. Pretty much that's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling. Thanks for sharing that. It's so important and so vital educating our youth because it creates opportunities. And that's one thing. What we try to do is meet a student where they are and take them to where they need to be.
All right. Well, invoking the memory of Silas Purnell is always good. Cy Purnell was a gentleman that I knew and interacted with a great deal. Put more black kids in college than any single person I ever heard of in the United States of America. Over 20,000 that I heard about. Of course, we got some people coming along right now. He worked at the Ada S. McKinley Social Service Agency. Bernard Clay over at Introspect Youth Service is following right along. Larry Hawkins was also very effective. And there have been other people who've done the same kind of work, but nobody has been as successful as Silas Purnell. God bless his soul. May he rest in peace. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, how you doing, Congressman Davis? Good evening to your guest. Congressman Davis.
Yes.
Okay, Donald Trump, right?
Yep.
Okay, when he said that legal immigrants should go back to their own country, right?
Right.
Now, the first people who was here is the Native American. And okay, if he want people to go back to their country, they should go back to their country and get the land back to the Native American. And y'all doing a wonderful job, Congressman Davis. This is James.
All right, James. Good to hear you. You coming to the football game? All right, we missed whether or not he's going to do it, but I hope he will. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring a busload of kids.
Oh, nice.
Oh, without a doubt, we'll be there. I may even have my Alpha Phi Alpha cap on.
There's a college fair associated with that also.
All right.
And the first 1,000 students come will get a ticket admission into the game.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
A free admission just for coming to the college fair and learning
That's right.
what kind of opportunities exist for you. You can't beat that. I'm going to be there with bells on. And I'm going to actually sit with the kids that I bring. I mean, I might have one of them tickets where you get up in them skyboxes and all that kind of stuff. But hey, I'm going to be out there with the people. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Yes. Congressman Davis?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I was wondering if anybody wants to get into, from the neighborhoods, black community all over this country, economically, would it be feasible if we could set up a trade route with people in countries in Africa, as so many other countries that do? I just feel that it was some kind of way we could set up a trade between those people.
We can. As a matter of fact, we just had an international town hall meeting last week over at Reverend Herbert B. Martin's church, Progressive. And we had somebody there from the Small Business Administration showing people how they can set up import-export businesses and do it. You are so right. We live in a great big environment. We're part of the whole world. Mr. Culbreath, let me ask you to close out for us because our time is running out.
Okay.
Give us some last words.
Well, I encourage people to visit our website at centralstate.edu. We're always recruiting, and Central State is a wonderful place to come get a great education. Again, we're very fortunate to be playing in Chicago Football Classic September the 10th. I encourage everybody to come out for that event. It's wonderful what Larry Huggins and Tim and Everett Rand do with that event, and it's a great event for the community of Chicago. We want to fill that stadium. 62,230 folks is what we're shooting for, and kickoff is at 3 p.m. But if you need to get in touch with Central State University, Again, centralstate.edu. If you are a student athlete or you want to visit our athletic site, that's at maraudersports.com.
All right, I will be there. Many young people will be there. Other people will be there. I tip my hat to the Rand brothers, Everett and Tim, and of course Larry Huggins is outstanding Inglewood brother, who just does all kind of incredible things for the community. Come on out this weekend, have fun. We'll see you next week.